Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. I'm Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for Connect with Comfort Show. This program we aim to add value to people and on business enterprise and personal growth. Each show is organized to feature guests who are subject matter experts that will help us to throw more insights on the topic of the day. I am glad you are able to join us today. You are most welcome. Our topic today should resonate deeply with anyone striving to build something impactful, and that is entrepreneurs at crossroads, navigating uncertainty and unlocking growth. We are living in an era where only the constant is change. Economic shifts, technological disruptions, and global uncertainties have become part of our daily reality. For entrepreneurs, this creates a unique challenge, not just to survive, but to adapt, innovate, and seize new opportunities. Today, we are going to look at not only the obstacles that lie ahead, but also explore the strategies and mindsets, as well as the tools that can transform these crossroads into catalysts for growth. It is a conversation about resilience, about entrepreneurs who can turn uncertainty into momentum and hesitation into bold action. As we engage in this dialogue today, let us all remember that every great business idea, every successful venture was once just a spark, born out of a moment of uncertainty as well. The question is, how do we fan that spark into a flame that propels us forward? So, once again, I welcome you all to this session to get answers to those questions and much more. Please remain connected. We'll be right back to jointly chart a course forward. Thank you.
Graduates or graduates, why gives your life a design to follow? Why do you do what you do? Why are you existing? Do you know what it takes to be great? It takes the answer to the question, why?
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome back. Our guest today, who will help to share more insight into the topic at hand, is no stranger to all of you. It's a partner in progress on this show, and it's no other than Mr. Rotimi Eyitayo, popularly known as Coach. Rotimi Eyitayo is a renowned education and business development strategist, passionate about transforming the education landscape and empowering entrepreneurs with innovative solutions. With over 2 decades of experience, he has worked extensively in teacher development, school transformation, youth empowerment, and business growth strategies, helping institutions and individuals achieve sustainable success. As the CEO of Team Masters Limited,
Hello, good evening.
sorry, let me take that again. As the CEO of Team Masters Limited, Rotimi has led groundbreaking initiatives that have impacted thousands of educators, school teachers, leaders, and business professionals across Nigeria and beyond. He is a sought after speaker, trainer, and consultant known for his ability to simplify complex ideas into practical, result driven solutions. A strong advocate for education reform, leadership development, and economic empowerment. Rotimi continues to champion programs that inspire innovation, creativity, and excellence in education and entrepreneurship. Please join me in making welcome our special guest for today, Mr. Rotimi Eyitayo.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much. You're welcome. We appreciate you for coming time and time again to help us out. Thank you very much. We do not take you for granted. So you're welcome. And going straight to the matter of today, we are talking of the dilemma that um, most entrepreneurs are faced with. I think it's most, not few, and that is entrepreneurs at crossroad, navigating uncertainty and unlocking growth. So, what are the common crossroads? Since we have agreed that crossroads, what are the common crossroads entrepreneurs face during periods of economic or market uncertainty?
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here. For entrepreneurs, there's several crossroads funding struggles. We've come to realize that a lot of times entrepreneurs always have these issues around funding, how to find funds, sustainable funds, how to keep afloat. And then beyond funding challenges, we also have scenarios where there's this challenge that entrepreneurs always have, regardless of the industry, regardless of the sector, how to constantly figure out customers' shifting demands. It is said that the appetite of the customer today keeps evolving at a fast pace. So it's important for customers, I mean, it's important for entrepreneurs to be able to understand the market and the buyer's behavior. And so that's a challenge that will constantly, face entrepreneurs. And one more before I put it to rest is this recent trend, especially in this part of the world, where we have talent retention challenges. So you have a lot of people saying that I have a business, I have work to give out to people, but I just don't seem to find the right talent to match, or you have been able to employ, but it seems like the attrition rate is so high that they're always hopping on the fastest bus heading to the next destination. So these are core critical challenges that entrepreneurs face. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sure many people can identify with that. Talent retention. For some months past now, if not a year, I would say, it's been very difficult for entrepreneur to get the right employees for their business. And without that, how do you have business growth? Because you can't deceive yourself. The entrepreneur, no matter what good ideas you have, you cannot do the job alone. You need helping hand. And sadly too, many of the few that will come up for interview or that will present themselves as being ready, they are only there for the money. They are not willing to contribute. So it's really a big dilemma. Thank you very much for uh, making that clear to us. So, how can entrepreneurs recognize when they have reached critical decision points in their business journey? If we are looking at this particular factor, which is a key factor for business growth.
I think that one of the things to look at would be once we begin to notice and identify that the competition seems to have become like a stormy scenario for the business. When the competition outpaces you, then you've gotten to a critical point. Business experts will say that the soul of every business is cash flow. So once your cash flow is tightened, when your cash flow is not able to sustain your operations, then you've gotten to that point as well. And the customer needs an appetite, like I said earlier, when it begins to shift, then I think it's time to get to a point where we need to rethink our strategy, because it's now like the fish is no longer in our sea, and we need to figure that out. How do we get to that point?
Okay. So, how do you answer that question if the fish is no longer in your sea? So you go hungry or you go and rear artificial fish.
Yes,
Oh,
so
God
that
help us.
that's why it's
Okay. Yeah, it's just that's why it's a concern. Yeah, I understand. So we've talked about the crossroad. Now, uncertainty is everywhere, economy wise, market wise, and all that. So, what strategies can entrepreneurs use to build resilience and maintain stability in the face of unpredictable business environment, such as what we are going through in Nigeria?
well. Interesting thing is that when we speak about strategies at such point in time, we need to realize that there has to be, we've said it to government before, but we also need to say it to ourselves. We need to begin to cut costs where necessary. It's important for us to check whether there are leakages or there are excesses. But at the same time, there are certain costs that are so traditional to the business that cutting it is also more like shutting down. So we need to think about diversification. Industries out there have shown us from time to time how they keep rethinking their business model and their business working strategy. And we've heard of situations where organizations have had to do what we call backward integration, where they think about it and say that, okay, this is the kind of business we're into. However, why don't we also be responsible for our source so that we don't necessarily have to incur unnecessary costs, but also still maintain control? But then sometimes some of us might need to think about a strategy called forward integration. So let me give you an example. I will not mention the exact organization, but I will mention the industry. There are many big giant beverage industry companies in the beverage industry that have practiced forward integration. So you have an organization that is producing, say for example, frizzle drinks, and the raw material to produce frizzle drink in itself is water. Now, so what they've done is to be able to say, since we already have water and that water is good enough to produce our drinks, why don't we forward integrate and turn ourselves also into bottling water to be able to supply water to the population and the same time supply fizzy drinks? So, at some point in time, creativity comes in and then businesses begin to find better ways to thrive, better ways to become more profitable.
Okay, so we need to look at diversification and possibly backward integration. Okay, that's a good one. Diversification is a sure way because if you have many sources, then you'll be able to shift, make the necessary shift quickly when things are not going right with one aspect of the business. So that's a tip for us to know. Now, do you consider scenario planning and risk assessment when navigating uncertainty times?
I believe it's very important that every business, I'm sure we sometimes hear people say it, but it's more than a cliche. Everybody should understand that there must be a backup plan. Some people use the word plan B. Plan B is not necessarily just an option, but it's also called plan best. In other words, what it means is that whatever happens to your business, what's the best case scenario in response? What's the best case scenario in positioning ourselves? And if a business or a business idea or a business entity is not willing to tilt towards having a plan B, then that business is like a disaster waiting to happen. So a plan B is not saying that plan A is bad. A plan B is just a definition of one, our risk appetite, number two, our level of responsiveness. So businesses that practice those kind of things demonstrate proper agility, meaning that regardless of the scenario that happens on the outside, so that's what happens where the business can weather the storm, regardless of what happens. So the business is able to manage risk, the business is able to bounce back, and sometimes navigate turbulent terrains. Thank you.
So our plan B, as we all know it, is not just like spare tire. It could even be a best option for the current plan that we are running. So it's from the advice of our guests, it's always necessary to consider plan B because anything can happen anytime. So it may not necessarily be that something you just stumble on or keep aside, but it could even be a better version of what you are running currently. So that's a good tip for us to know that you have different scenario. What if this happen? What if that happen? So that helps you to make a better plan in case the unexpected eventually happen. Thank you for that response. So, would in this scenario that we are painting, how would you consider the role of emotional intelligence? Would it help entrepreneurs to make sound decisions during a crisis?
Yes, I believe so. Because given the definition and the framework of emotional intelligence, I think that most times the intelligence to the emotions helps us to go beyond just acting in certain kind of ways. I think emotional intelligence business leaders and business entrepreneurs at such challenges are able to put fear at bay. Yes, sometimes these challenges can cause us to feel anxious, experience anxiety, but we balance the emotions with intelligent emotions. We're able to make better decisions and objective decisions, not just subjective decisions. It's also something that helps us to build trust with the people that we lead and with the people that we work with. How we're able to tell the customers that, look, we're able to share and instill inspiration and courage to say, times are hard, things are difficult, but we're moving up and we're moving forward together. And that's what makes people believe in a cause where the organization moves from mere routine and operation into a mission. And that's really pretty much what emotional intelligence now begins to do, because now for managing relationships, we begin to act in a certain way as opposed to just expressing our stress, expressing our anxiety, expressing our worries. We're able to now also inspire belief as we go.
Thank you. The key point there is we are not just talking of emotions, is the intelligence in the emotions. And that's saying to us clearly that we should not just apply sentiment. You have to really put in the necessary intelligence in our thinking to be able to get out of the murky water that presents itself. So when we hear emotional intelligence, that's what that one is speaking to. So it's important for us to know how to instill confidence in our stakeholders, customers particularly, and then even the employees when things seems to be getting rough or in crisis, so that we can all stay together to salvage the situation. That's a very good one. Now, we are also concerned about growth, and the normal thing that you say to an entrepreneur is that be careful, take your decision cautiously, and don't just jump into any decision just like that. So, but the growth aspect requires us to make uh, bold steps, to take bold decisions. So how do you balance the two, the cautiousness of not falling into wrong decision, and the boldness of that will inspire growth? Wow, I think it's network. Did you get the question?
No, sorry, I didn't get the question. Please, I have the question again.
Okay, okay. I was asking, how do entrepreneurs strike the balance between the need to be cautious in decision making and the boldness that is required to pursue growth opportunities?
Yes, one of the ways to strike a balance is with our energy and zest and passion to move ahead. We need to also introduce data driven decisions. When we are backed up with data, it tends to put a bit of balance. You are not just deciding because you're excited, you are deciding because you are informed. And that is very important. In fact, it can make a big difference from assumption to precision. Another thing is that a lot of people normally say that it's also good that when you are faced with certain situation, start with a bit of a bite size, almost like a step first, a foot in the water before you go all in. And then also a fail forward approach and mentality is very important. That should there be even so much of clarity that you step into something and it's not as expected, you are able to fail forward, meaning you are able to go beyond the fact that you're failing and on to the next one. Moving on, you're able to rise above the tide.
Very, very interesting. That we need to rise above the level of assumption, and that is why we must embrace data. The analysis therein keep us informed and help us to make informed decision rather than just use the rule of thumb, which can sometimes go wrong. So that's like our moving from the level of assumption to precision. Thank you very much. So that will help us to achieve the balance so that yes, we need to be cautious, but at the same time, if the data is telling us that it is right to make that move, then we can go for it. So how does or what innovative strategies have successful entrepreneurs used to pivot their businesses during challenging times?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
I'm asking the innovative strategies that businesses or successful business to say have used to pivot their businesses during challenging times.
I think one of the things I've noticed is that a lot of business people they've been able to leverage on collaboration, and outside collaboration we've seen where people have kind of remodeled their offers into, for example, subscription based services. Some people have also embraced digital transformation. We've also seen people unbundle what they offer, and then they begin to do what we call segmentation for new customers. You begin to see partnerships at different levels of organization, right? They come together and one organization produces for all of them. And so instead of multiplying production plant, even in Nigeria, we've heard of where situations have occurred where you have a telecom mast and you have other companies coming on that mast to share assets, instead of everybody setting up and erecting mast across the country. So those are things that really helped, people cross-selling, upselling, unbundling their package. So even if you look at it, you have some people have basic, premium, advanced, and that way they are making sure that new customer market segments exist.
Okay, that's speaking to collaboration, to collaborate more. Uh, part of our strategies is to collaborate more with other people in the same line of business, as well as not necessarily having to reinvent the wheel all the time. If somebody has done something that is going to be useful for your business and it can come at a minimal cost, so why not go for it instead of you starting the whole thing fresh again? So that's another strategy. And then the third aspect, of course, can another party can do better or quicker, achieve more results. So those are the strategies that can help to pivot our business in challenging times. So of course, this question leads to the data-driven insight, which you have alluded to. But the technology aspect can still be asked that how does that help data-driven insight and technology help entrepreneurs uncover hidden growth opportunities?
Okay, so thank you very much. When we think about data or analytics or information like that, they tend to reveal the trend. Some people even spend time to tell you about what you call trend analysis. Trend analysis helps you to also predict behavior. And that's why sometimes people will tell you that it's better to market a particular way at a particular time of the day. It's because of insights. You're able to tell what is the best medium that works. So it helps with predictability when you're using technology as well. It helps you to be able to profile, what cost efficient ways are the best. And then sometimes you begin to identify new market gaps and also you are able to create what I call spot on effect that goes beyond what intuition can have. Sometimes you say, I just sense that this thing will work. Sensing that this thing will work is intuition. But when you have this kind of data, you're able to have this kind of insight, it helps elevate you from just intuition to now getting to precision. So you are able to make sure that everything is spot on, targeted, just like a sniper. You're not wasting bullets. You're hitting the right target.
Alright, so we'll go on a short break right now. I'll be right back. Please remain connected.
I wanted to give up. I'm done with all the things I'm going through. I'm trying to keep my head up. I try to win, but every time I lose. Should be getting better. I try, but I don't know what to do. Hope this ain't forever. I just wanna make a breakthrough, but something inside said never give up. All of these setbacks are major setups. If I keep on fighting, if I keep on trying, if I aim for the sky, one day things will go my way. One day things will go my way. One day things will go my way. I've got it.
Thank you. Welcome back. We should keep on trying. We should keep on striving. One day will be our breakthrough point. And that's always the target of entrepreneurs. So never giving up. Thank you for staying tuned. So, what role do mentors, advisors, or professional network play in helping entrepreneurs at a crossroad?
Thank you very much. Mentors are like, how do I put it? They are like trainers and lifeguards in some cases, because a lot of mentors bring to bear relational experience, they bring to bear historical experience, they bring to bear situational experience. So they're able to help guide the individual to minimize exposure, to minimize losses, to minimize unnecessary scars along the journey. So mentors actually are very pivotal to even sustaining the people and their businesses, to sustaining their growth and to keeping their dream alive. We've seen situations where mentors are able to serve as a support structure. So you are guided, you are advised, but when you come back, when you hit a block or a roadblock, you're coming back to your mentor, and that system alone being available has made some people continue, and those without mentors have decided to throw in the towel. And so sometimes resilience and consistency and staying power is further reinforced when mentors and coaches are introduced into the mix. So you find out that passion and vision sometimes is not necessarily enough. A support structure to that passion and vision can appear in form of mentors, can appear in form of coaching. So every business needs a mentor, every business needs a coach, regardless of the success the businesses have attained.
I think that also goes for our professional networks. We're able to get tips, we're able to share experiences, which sometimes some things you would have spent days on end ruminating over how to get out of. Some people have faced that same problem before, and they just within a twinkle of an eye get solution. So that also help to for us to make sure that we keep network with our business partners, with people in like the type of business we're doing, as well as advisors. Well, the mentor sometimes can be two or three in one, advisor, a guide, and all that. So that's a tip for us to have our support system very strong for collaboration. Then, if we look at partnership and collaboration serving as catalysts for growth during uncertain times, how do we explore more on this? Going into partnership or collaborating with another uh, business person that is in like business with us.
I think when partnerships happen in such times, you find out that you can come out as a stronger force. Permit me to use the election or the electoral case studies where we find sometimes political parties, though they actually have their individual entities, but just because they want to capture the vote, sometimes the two parties come together, and that type of collaboration, just because they want to come out with a common front, they want to have bigger numbers. That's a kind of approach to look at it. But at the same time, it's also cost saving. When we begin to think of it, people put pause together and they're able to, navigate whatever challenges they have. And of course, what happens is that you are able to expand your market reach, So while having all these uncertainties and all these things you are saving costs, you are also able to have expanded market reach and qualitative, not just quantitative, qualitative positioning. Most people want to become market leaders, and for you to position yourself as market leaders, sometimes it's best to see that the best in the games, I mean, the game are kind of together. So it's almost like a big brother effect where businesses are oh, these are the top fours. That's why sometimes in some industries they'll say the big four, the big five. So by default, even though there'll still be one or second or third, but they've come into a category of best. And that in itself gives them leverage and comparative advantage.
That's true. So we also, as a part of our business strategies, start to think of those we can safely partner with, collaborate with. I use that word and stress it because I think what bothers most small businesses is how trustworthy is the other party. If I'm leaving my safe haven to go and collaborate with another person. So something that we should have at the back of our mind and plan along our journey. If it becomes necessary um, for our growth journey, it may be a good thing for us because two efforts of two people are better than one. I'm not talking of good heads now, but that also applies. So we should always have that at the back of our mind, possibility of partnering with another person or collaborating for specific assignment or project. So in all this, how can entrepreneurs future proof their businesses while still focusing on immediate survival and growth?
I think that entrepreneurs can also future proof their businesses, and promote sustainability when they begin to think automation. We've seen situation where businesses that have existed for the past 20, 30, sometimes 40 years or so have refused to move or migrate into digitizing their processes, documenting their expertise. They've built super people instead of building super systems. And so sometimes what happens is that the business is at a risk of continuity. You know, I think we should also balance short-term cash flow with long-term investment. We should think about innovation. We should think about automation. We should think about optimizing customer experiences. Because one thing I've come to realize is that when we ask people question, what is the sole reason of being in business? People say it's profit. But when you look at that, it goes beyond profit. I think the sole reason of being in business is to be able to provide value and retain customers. And so, what it simply means is that if we are chasing the profit and value is not provided, customers are not being retained, it's a matter of time the profit will disappear. But if we constantly give value and we constantly retain customers, the result of giving value and retaining customers is having profit. So when we think about that, we need to see how we can heighten the customer experiences. It's That's what the world is. Everybody's looking at how to deliver a very great service experience, and that will also help and go a long way.
Thank you very much. It's important for us to be conscious of creating value, not just to focus on profit. Profit is good. You need profit for the business to continue, but also creating value to make sure that the business is sustained is when the sustainability of business is ensured, that you can be sure of continued um, profit. And one key word that you said there that resonates with me is that we should also concentrate more on building super system rather than super people, because that is more enduring at the end of the day. Thank you very much for that. What mindset shifts are necessary for entrepreneurs to turn uncertainty into competitive advantage?
Thank you very much. I think that entrepreneurs of today and of the hour,
Did you get that?
yes, yes. So I think that we need to have a mindset that embraces change. We shouldn't be running away from diversity. We should be running towards diversity and challenges. And that's sometimes a strange way of looking at it, but sometimes it might be the best way looking at it. We need to start thinking about finding not just usual paths to follow, but looking at how to create paths that have never been created before. And that's what leads to us becoming eventually what we call trailblazers. Trailblazers are first people who find a path. And after path finding, they begin to blaze the trail. And for that to happen, you need to make a move, embrace change. You know, everyone is always looking for a way out. Why not stop and say it's time to look for a way through? You know, when you use the regular cliche word, I need a business breakthrough, the business breakthrough is made out of breaking through, not running out. So breakthrough would require us to be in the game, will require us to stay in the game, will require us to go through the game. And whatever type of industry you find yourself, whatever type of businesses you run, it is important that you have that mentality that builds resilience to say, bring it on, you know. So whenever they say, there's a popular statement that whenever life comes catching you, let it find you climbing on a mountain or descending from a mountain that you've probably just been able to climb. But whichever way, keep climbing, keep moving, don't stop.
It's like that last sentence, the network has not really been very kind. The words were breaking. Can you go through that again?
So it's like a statement that is always said that whenever life comes catching you, let it find you climbing a mountain, a great mountain or a great challenge you're climbing on, or descending from one you just been able to summit on. Whichever way it is, keep moving, keep climbing, don't stop.
Don't give up, more or less. Don't give up. What would be your parting shot on this topic?
I hope that was clear.
Just for a second.
All right, thank you very much. So I would say that
Yeah, it was. I
everyone will
said,
find
what would
themselves.
be your parting shot on this
Yeah, my parting
costly
shot would
topic?
be that at every point in time, whenever we are at a crossroad, we should go for the high road and not the low road. There's a temptation for us to go back. There's a temptation for us to throw in the towel or give in. But I think we should encourage ourselves and pull through. Get people along. Don't go alone. Reach out to others. Make a difference. It's possible that you're just at the brink of a breakthrough. So don't give up. The best is yet to come.
Fantastic. That's a good way to wrap it up there. That don't give up. Just keep on trying. Like the music video that we play, keep on trying. One day the luck will shine on you. One day things will work your way. So you keep on trying, putting your best, and the breakthrough is just around the corner. Thank you very much. While we are at it, we have some regulars that joined us. I would like to acknowledge them, our online audience. We have Taiwo Ojo from Abuja, Eunice Adebola also. We have Dr. Ibela Singh from Abuja. Then we have Niyi Olajide, I believe, joined us. Thank you all following Connect with Comfort, with Passion. Thank you for being partners with this program. I will, on that note, want to appreciate our guest for today, Rotimi. Thank you very much for the great insights. It's been an awesome and inspiring session.
Thank you.
Special appreciation for uh, giving us a quick turnaround anytime we needed help. You are there. Thank you for all that you do and being really, really willing to come up once we ask of you. Thank you. So I'll quickly go into the wrap up session. A lot has been said about this topic, but it's good for us to understand from the perspective of the crossroad and what to do when we find ourselves in that situation. We must be ready to confront the situation that we find ourselves, find a way of balancing the opportunity as well as the uncertainty to make sure that we get out of the disruption or crossroad or whatever we may want to call it call it. Remembering, of course, from what our guests have told us, that every crossroad presents both a risk of stagnation, yes, but a chance for innovation because it helps you to think out of the box to see how best you can do what you are doing or the alternative that is available for you to do what you have been doing. So we must seize that opportunity. We must also embrace agility and adaptability. That is very important for us, especially as it relates to our mindset, not giving up at the very little discomfort that we get. We must have a flexible mindset that yes, things may be tough now, but it's going to get better, and we must be ready to pivot our business model to explore new markets or adapt or adopt emerging technologies to assist us break through. So we must always be positive minded. That is very important. Then in taking strategic decision, we have seen or we've been told how data would help us to move from the level of assumption to precision, and that gives us more confidence to pursue whatever we want to do, knowing that we are working on something that is more likely than something that is like a guesswork. So we have to really know how to uh, in terms of uncertainty, how to strategize correctly, make the right decision backed with data, which we call informed decision. Then we must not lose sight of stress testing our business model. We should evaluate our financial resilience, supply chain stability, and market demand. Fund is important. The supplier angle, which is a different stakeholder, is important, and the market itself, because if we have supply and we don't have people demanding our product, so all these three are very important: the finance angle, the supply angle, and the market angle. We must at all time try to stress test to see how resilient, how can they how can we withstand the uncertainty on this tripod, this very important tripod that is very good for our business. We also must engage in scenario planning, mapping out our best option, mapping out even the worst option to see how it compares, and moderate case strategy. So we'll be able to make a choice. This scenario mapping is very important. Then innovation and growth, they are like two sides of the coin. You have to innovate to be able to grow. You cannot remain static or be doing the same thing that we are doing and expect different results. We must learn to innovate, find other things that can advance our businesses, be creative, go into problem solving, partnering, we have talked about that, and remaining uh, customer friendly to give that customer experience. The entrepreneurial mindset is a go-getter mindset. We must develop that. If we don't have that, so we must consider challenges should be seen as catalysts, not for disruption as some people will see them. Then we need to strengthen our network base, collaborate more, and make findings, do knowledge enrichment for both for our business and ourselves to get better on what we do. The power of community is also important when we are talking of collaboration. We need to uh, partner with each other, share resources which can be more cost effective, ideas and emotional support during turbulent times. All these things work uh, very well for our business. Personal leadership training and mindset training is also very important. Then the call to action is unlocking growth. We need to wait for ideal conditions to create opportunities and make sure that the current realities is ready for your ideas coming up, and then face challenges whatever they are with the mindset of being able to surmount them. So in summary, we should continue to embrace the entrepreneurial mindset. And as we draw the curtain on today's conversation about entrepreneurs at Crossroad, navigating uncertainty and unlocking growth, one truth remains very clear to us: uncertainty is not a roadblock, it's a signpost that is for us to put our brain into gear, so to say. It's a signal, not the end of the journey, but the need for bold decisions, creative pivots, and unrelenting resilience. So we have explored the tension between risk and reward, and the delicate balance between stability and ambition, and the strategies needed to turn today's challenges into tomorrow's opportunities. But let me remind you, the true essence of entrepreneurship lies not in having all the answers, but in the courage to ask the right questions and the agility to adapt. As you live here today, I urge you to embrace uncertainty, not as an enemy, but as catalyst for innovation. Forge strategic partnership, leverage technology, and most importantly, invest in yourself because growth begins within. The road ahead may twist and turn, but every great entrepreneur knows that the only way to unlock growth is to keep moving forward with clarity of purpose and a heart full of grit. Once again, I would like to appreciate all our online audience, the ones I've mentioned and the ones I've not been able to mention. I appreciate you all for sparing time to connect with us today for this enlightening session. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If so, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Comfort Eyitayo. Once you have subscribed, please turn on the notification button, like and share our videos, stay updated with information about upcoming events, solutions. Okay, I have somebody. Okay, Doris Chinedu. Is that Doris? Okay, Doris Chinedu. Okay, okay, Stephen from Lagos. Thank you. You are welcome for joining us. So stay updated with information about upcoming events, solutions, and offers on my Instagram account at Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook account at Comfort Eyitayo. So till I come your way again, let's not just weather the storm. Let us build businesses that dance in the rain. And may your entrepreneurial journey be bold, bright, and boundless. Thank you once again for joining us today. May God bless you all.